Hello people, this is Ryder here with the review of the Ultraman Zero original brace. So if I can pull it out, obviously last time we've covered the Bandai China original item, the Blazar stone case or holder. Well, this one's actually in katakana and such, because I guess to fit with the rest of the toys. This one is an interesting case, as mine is crushed, so it can't stand. So, Bandai China actually made their own subline of Zero toys. Not like they haven't done that before. There's a lot of creative Bandai China items that would be interesting. But, this one we knew about since 2023? Within the beginning of Blazar, we kind of knew about this thing's existence because of its correlation with the 15th anniversary of Zero. So, this is as it says, the Zero original brace, to which is essentially the plasma Zerolet that can take in what they are calling the ultralight coins. These are clearly not ultra metals. Anyways, we have Zero with the Ultra Zero mantle and Zet. The top just shows us how to use it. The side has the stats of Zero. That's interesting. Tells us to buy the other 2 reviews for this week. There's that. The side is a continuation off of the front, so it just has Zero original brace. It actually has an English description of Zero. Yeah, that's really interesting. And then the back, again, just shows us how to use it. And obviously, because at the time this got released, Arc was premiering, so yeah. And this thing has 3 LR44s already installed, and this is the official Subaraya approval. So this, if you didn't think so, this is an official Ultraman item, if you were skeptical about that for some reason. So here we have the contents out of the box. Obviously we have the Zero original brace by itself, alongside its strap, and our 2 ultralight coins, to which we will take a look at later. So let's take a look at the Zero original brace, and basically, I think I've already said it before, but it reminds me a lot, functionality-wise, of the Plasma Zerolet from Ultraman Taiga. Just that I can definitely tell it's a lot more bigger of a piece, but it still kinda has the same engineering. I'm not sure about the speaker placement being the same, but like basically it has the same gimmick of pushing this similarly shaped button. Pushing this button to open the fins up and such. I apologize for not showing that well. So yeah, basically again, this piece goes down and lets go of these fins and such. But other than that, you know, admittedly it's colored very basically, but I still think it's neat looking. And it looks, I think Riker and I have both said this already, it looks like a ship. Just because of this dome for the coins. But, you know, the red I think this is red paint. I assume it is. The red paint here is really sharp. And then the blue paint, that like the only blue that's present, because the other blue that is used is this translucent blue for here, and then again for the switches. Other than that, the rest of it is just, oh yeah, down here too. The rest of it is just this gray plastic. It looks alright for the most part, but it's fine. On off switch right there. The battery compartment, as this thing takes 3 LR44s. Unfortunately, I had to replace my... I already had to replace the batteries for it because I got it dead. So that's unfortunate. Probably would have been better to have just done what Bandai Japan does and just include a pull tab, so then, despite this being on, so then that could potentially have been avoided, but I think it doesn't resolve anything. And we have the copyright, obviously Subaraya Pro company and such. I think my only gripe about it is that I just wish this was filled in, so then we didn't have to see this entire mechanism. But other than that, quickly moving on to the strap for this. It's really interesting. However, this is actually not unusual for Ultraman, because I know they've been using this kind of strap since the like Ultra Henshin device sets. Every time they needed to require a device that has a wrist strap, so like I know the Ultra Bracelet, the Expelder, I don't think that's Ogle's transmission device, and like the Mebius brace, those versions came with these straps, so it's kind of nice to actually own one of these, because it's really interesting with how it's done, because we have 2 pegs right here, and then 7 rows for the strap. So again, you just simply, I think I'm doing it wrong, because I think it's supposed to be this way, but, oh well. Someone hopefully correct me. So basically, you know, you just put this on your wrist like so, and then unfortunately I can only reach the top notch for this, because again, these straps were primarily for kids because of the Ultra Narakiri sets they were a part of. Oh, I mean, this was also used with the Zero brace, too, as the temperature goes out. Woohoo. Sorry about that, but, like, you know, this is the reason why I put the strap like this, because I'm pretty sure they're supposed to hang out like that. But, you know, again, it is comfortable on my wrist and such. Just, I assume, again, this works the same as the Plasma Zero, where you're supposed to just use your thumb. But the thing is that, obviously, you want to angle it up, so then you don't end up getting hit by the fins and such. But other than that, for the rest of this, I'm actually going to just leave the strap off and such, as we move on to the actual gimmicks. So the I can't even say transformation gimmick, but like basically the associating gimmick with this toy are what they call the ultra light coins, to which we've kind of already alluded to a lot. These are very adjacent to the ultra metals from Ultraman Z. What makes them obviously stand out is that they're basically just a lighter shade of gray, kind of the same plastic, honestly, as the brace itself. Not the silver that the 6 Ultra Brothers were and such. But anyways, obviously what makes them different from the Ultra Metals is that they're essentially kind of like yokai metals, where they actually have the name of the character and English and Mandarin. I doubt that's... Or, it's Chinese, but like, obviously this is all Mandarin. I doubt it's Cantonese. There is Ultraman Zero with the Ultra Zero mantle, and I think that's supposed to be a light shade of blue, but it looks, I think it's silver for the most part. We got a nice gem pattern background. It's kind of, I think it's 2-layered, basically. It's a 2-layered piece. Obviously we have the trademarks and such. Unlike the Ultra Metals, there's not really uniformity, or there is, but like, I personally don't really get what they were trying to go with this design, as we take one out. Because as you can see, the Ultra Metals had this kind of thing, but these ones don't. It's just like, well, here's a small sliver here, here's a big sliver there, and then there's like, I don't get it. But other than that, they're pretty neat. I think for the most part these are actual art pieces. So again, it's at least not the same mold, but they are the same size. So anyways, moving on to our second included ultralight coin, Ultraman Z Original. Again, we got a nice gem pattern, same background as Ultra Zero Mantle Zero. And yeah. So, obviously, as I said before, the batteries were already installed in this prior, so just to switch it on like so. There we have, I think, the sound of the actual Ultimate, or not Ultimate Breeze. Yeah, it is the Ultimate Breeze. By itself, all you can do is just press it in to basically get the activation sound, which is obviously the first half of Zero's Rise sound. So, obviously, to use ultralight coins, you simply just want to slot them into this empty dome like so until the metal hits this button like so. So it's not necessarily a click, but just push it in like so. I don't know why I'm struggling. So obviously we get the announcement of the metal, and then followed by the grunt of that respective ultra, and then as you can hear from the standby of this thing, it is entirely carried over from the D flasher. And then to activate it like so, just press the red button. So obviously we get the rise sound for that ultra, and then if we press it again, we get the finisher, to which obviously for Zero is the wide zero shot. Z Original. There we got the Zetzium Coulson. I forgot to mention, obviously, to take these out, you simply slide them out, like so. Now, if we were to use, I have to specify a Japanese Ultra Metal, it airs out. because it's basically reading as if you did not insert anything, or because once this is pressed, it airs out because it's not sensing anything and such. And obviously, I think it does the same thing with Chinese Ultrametals too, but these are definitely a lot more easier to sliding in and out as opposed to Japanese, or as opposed to the ultralight coins. But speaking of those, for those curious, if you were to use it with a Japanese Z riser, obviously you can still insert them like so, but yeah, it doesn't read them for obvious reasons. Sorry about that. But yeah. So from what I know, from the videos I've watched of this thing, the ultralight coins within the Chinese Z risers read out as Ultraman Taro, but obviously we don't have that ability. But overall, for the base package or the base set, it's fine. You know, again, as I've said before, the device itself looks alright. The ultralight coins are neat to an extent, and the functionality of this thing practically to me is basically the deflasher. Not because of it having the standby for it, but just because like the deflasher was pretty basic in terms of sounds as compared to like other shows and such, and just I can't really necessarily say like sound pattern, but like, you know, like, and this is not even like a negative aspect. It's just I think I'm just saying it's more aligned with the deflasher, just to say that it's really straightforward. Of just you're gonna get a transformation, and then you're gonna get the finisher. Like, yeah, it's not arranged like the deflasher, because the deflasher shouted either Ultra Dimension or Mons Dimension, then it did the transformation, then it announced the Ultra, then when you did the finisher, it was the grunt, and then like the sound effect associated with this. This is formatted as name announcement, grunt, transformation, and then just straight to the finisher and such. So, you know, again, it's a pretty straightforward toy, and, you know, again, if you've collected any other Ultraman device, like Ultraman Henshin device, yeah, it's basically the same thing of that. I think the novelty of this thing is just that, again, it's a Bandai China original creation. Bandai China has always been really interesting in terms of what they will do for Ultraman. And for the most part, they tend to just have done original weapons for the Ultras. But this is their first, like, array, if I am correct. This is their first foray within like a Henshin device, so I do think it's pretty interesting for that. I got this through Super Buy back in March of 2025 for $19, which isn't too bad for the price. I think you get like, because I feel like something like this within Bandai Japan would have retailed for $30. Or for like basically $10 less. So I don't really mind what this does right now. I'll definitely say like it's not necessary, but it's a nice novelty piece. So that'll have to do with this review. This is Ryder, and I'll leave people. Bye.